Well, good morning, my silky friends. I hope you have your coffee. Yeah, look, it's Friday. It's Friday. That's the way we say it around here. Friday. Anyway, it's Friday and it's the I don't care hair, puffy eyes, all that stuff. I've been up since dark 30 this morning trying to prepare for a live. And I promise y'all, after today, I'm not going to go live as early. So maybe it'll be your second cup of coffee. It's already my second cup of coffee, but um yeah, welcome. If you would hit the like button, I would appreciate it. Let's see. Fragaria. Yes, it is a circus. What a circus. I knew it was going to be a circus. There was no doubt about it. All three rings going at once. Kathy S., good morning. How are you? I hope you're having coffee with me. Good, good. We have a lot to discuss. And again, I'm only going to be here for about an hour because I've got to go to work. And this is, again, it's casual day. Uh, but like I wanted to wear pajama pants, but I kind of thought that would be frowned upon. But look, I put earrings in. Can y'all see? So, yay. I did something, okay? Um all right. So, wow. The stuff, and I'm going to go through some things again, y'all. I repost on all the things that I find not I find a lot interesting, but I repost the things that I do not want to forget. And I think next time when I present it, sorry, my pants are caught in my belly button ring, and that is not comfortable. But anyway, yeah, so TMI this morning, TMI. How y'all doing? Let me get a temperature on the room. How are y'all feeling so far? Because I'm saying what I'm saying, and I think I'm saying what the jury is saying. Based on, of course, you have different people reports, and I was listening to somebody this morning, an attorney, who's just saying, "Oh, he's done. Oh, the state," and I'm like, Are we seeing the same thing? I mean, I know you're in there, but are we looking at the same evidence? Because, lady, come on, hello. And I was perusing some Facebook groups yesterday, and you have all these people saying, "Oh, boom, Nick brought it. There's all these booms, and the defense, Richard Allen is over, and all this kind of stuff." And again, I'm like, are we watching the same trial? Because I don't think we are. I'm like, good God, y'all. Uh, I, I have not seen any evidence yet that wouldn't give me a reasonable doubt. That's just my opinion. Um, but anyway, hello, Lana. That's okay. Look, like I said, next week I will be on my regular second shift schedule. So I am not going to, and the comments are on my end are kind of frozen. So I'm sorry. Good morning, Nancy Drew. I'm infuriated. Nancy Grace lost her mind saying he changed his appearance like Ted Bundy because he lost a ton of weight. Yeah. I mean, because jail food is so good. Like I said, like a year ago or something. Hello, Teresa. Um, yeah, like I said, like a year ago, Richard Allen, like, look, a lot of people do gain weight in jail. I've seen it most of the time, but these are the people, just from my own experience, because y'all know I worked in a jail for several years. Um, they're the addicts, okay? And they come in very skinny and they haven't been eating. And so they get in jail and they don't have access. And so they end up eating 3 meals a day and they put on weight. However, if you are a drinker like Richard Allen, well, I'm not saying he was an alcoholic. Do not misquote me. I'm just saying he said he would, like, have beers I don't know if it was every day, several times a week. You're out, you're eating good. Clearly, he was not, uh, you know, a substance abuser. So, as far as we know, but you will lose weight like that because you don't have access to alcohol. So, he changed his appearance. Yeah. You know what? He changed it so much, Nancy, that he went from having poofy hair to a crew cut. Yeah, because he never did that before. I mean, come on. Um, so I mean, I like Nancy Grace for some things. I do. I like the way sometimes that she interviews people, she hits hard questions, but I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. And I thought it was so funny in these groups, and I don't say anything in these groups. I just watch and snicker to myself. I'm like, "Okay. All right, we'll see." This jury has asked good questions consistently, and I think they want the real tea. They want facts. Good morning, Samantha. How are you? Lana says, Nancy Grace, I just can't with her. I know, right? Sometimes, like I said, it's a love hate relationship with me. Sometimes I like what she does. Um, let's see. Teresa says you're feeling hopeful. Okay. State has proven nothing, but I strongly fear Ellie is going to tamper with, intimidate, or threaten the jury. There's always that possibility, but I don't think because they're sequestered. I think it might. I mean, I don't think that's as likely to happen. I could be naive here, though, Teresa. Honestly, I could be, but I'm hoping that they are protected. Um, Nancy Drew says, "Oh, you left Nancy Grace a comment." Yeah, there is a lot of theatrics going on. Look, I'm just telling y'all, there's a lot of theatrics in this whole thing. And I'm gonna get into some of the stuff. I listened to Andrea Burkhart. I didn't have as much time, y'all. I was just so tired. I come home at night, and by the time I get home and settled, get the dog fed, and all that kind of stuff, it is probably close to 9 o'clock. And I'm 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 like, you know what? I listened to a few minutes and I fall asleep listening to something. So I do not know everything. Um Nancy Drew is Greeno on the jury by now. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. It literally, like, look, literally would not surprise me. Um, okay, now let me say this. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, one motion that came up. We'll see. We'll see. I know y'all have seen this. The defense motioned again to allow the Norse pagan defense to come in because in most fair trials, let me say this, fair being the operative word, the defense is allowed to present an alternate theory. Okay. Do I think it was strictly a Norse pagan Odinism, thing? No, I don't. Could they have been involved? There's some sketchy people. Okay. Sketchy things that I have a lot of questions about. Do I think it was planned and done that way as a sacrifice? No, I do not think it was. I think it could have played into it, but only for other factors, which, when Prof and I talked about it, I laid out my whole theory. But definitely, it should be something that the jury is aware of because it shows the potential of other people. Now, okay, think about this. Now, they're saying he crossed the creek. Remember that the snow had started melting and the creek was very high, right? It was like, whew, it was way up there. So you're telling me a 5'4", because I'm 5'3", and that's stretching the truth. I'm probably 5'2", but somebody once measured me at 5'3", and so forever I'm gonna say that, even though I'm really 5'2". So you're talking about someone who is very close to my height crossing a freezing cold body of water, dragging two girls, forcing two girls. Look, if the banks were swelling and the water was high and it's that cold, you cannot look. I can't. I am so short, like that. When the water is 3 feet deep, like I'm drudging, just drudging through there. So, I mean, that's a bunch of horse pucky. Um, and I'm like, sure. I hope the jury is gonna look at Richard Allen and say, hmm. And he's even more fit, I would say now. I mean, he was a lot heavier back then. Jeez, come on. You're gonna tell me this older guy who was at the time overweight is gonna forge that creek? I don't think so. In February, I don't think it's gonna happen. Um, let's see what you're saying. Um, so you're saying that Shane Evans was elected for judge? I thought that was definite. I thought I heard that a while back. Yes, lots of cess cakes being served in Carroll County. Absolutely. Um, and you have to remember too, in this trial right now, we are hearing the prosecution's case. All right, we haven't heard now. The defense is cross examining them. Okay, and they're doing a good job, I think, of the cross examination. But this is the state's case. It is presented first. So we don't know what all the defense has to bring to the table. And just knowing the way it has gone so far, like think about the Frank's motion and everything else, I think we're going to see some really stuff from the defense. I do. I I think the circus is going to continue. And I mean, if that's what it takes to get justice in this case, I'm all for a good circus. Who doesn't love a circus? The popcorn, the peanuts, the cotton candy, the acrobatics. We love a circus. Um, okay. Uh, yes, you are right. See, that's what I'm saying. Um, RA would have gotten away with being would gotten swept away being 5'4". Yeah, 100%. I think he would have. Nancy Drew said, "Did you change your fishing license to 5'4"? No, but let me just address that, okay? I'm not that concerned. First of all, he changed his fishing license to be taller, more like Bridge Guy. That makes no sense. But I will tell you something. I don't even know what my driver's license says. It probably does say 5'3". I know I'm not going to tell you what my weight says, but when I moved to Alabama, like 20 years ago, I don't even know how many. It's been a bunch of years. I was much younger and much slimmer, and so I put my actual height. Maybe look, probably I did go for that 5'3". I don't know. I need to pull it out and look, right? But the weight that I was then, every year, I mean, every 4 years when I go in to renew my license, they're like, "Is your height and weight about the same?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, if I ever go missing, they're gonna be looking for a little bitty person. I mean, I'm not huge, but you know what I'm saying. I am no longer the weight I was like all those years ago. Um, and no matter what my hair color is, because I do change that a lot. Uh, I think my driver's license says blonde, and outside of this summer, I haven't been blonde in a long time. So there you go. Now, why would he change his fishing license to 5'6"? Okay, I think this is just me personally. I feel like men who are shorter feel what is the word I'm looking for? Feel a little bit less than, you know? They feel like there's a height issue, okay? Because for some reason, our society tells us that we need very tall men. I really don't think that's true. I think it's, you know, a short guy can be a much better protector or whatever than a tall one. I have a friend who had a huge husband, like huge, and she's little bitty. And like back in the day, okay? Back in the day, she used to beat him up and he was terrified of her. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but I'm not saying it's the right thing either. It's just it is what it is. I mean, so look, that doesn't mean anything, but we have this preconceived notion that tall men are better, right? They're more masculine. So I think that Richard Allen at 5'4", which is typically a woman's height, I'm thinking he just stretched it a little bit. It's like, you don't want that on there. Come on. People are going to realize when they look at you, you're not 5'6". Sorry, my dog is going nuts. Um, but I, that's my opinion. Do people lie about their height and weight on stuff? Of course they do. Um, let's see what you are saying. Yes, thank God for Baldwin and Rosie. Yes, absolutely. Man, I'm so far behind with what y'all are saying. Hold on. Okay, Samantha says, I played in that creek in grade school. Even back then, kids were taught not to even be near the creek in spring when it comes up. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Hold on just a second. I didn't want you to hear me screeching into the microphone. All right. Hello. Rebecca Ann, 1965. My weight on my driver's license, 110. I haven't been that weight in 10 years. See? See? We all do it. We do it. Um, because why? I mean, I figure one of these days, the people at the DMV are going to look at me and say, ma'am, your weight is not the same. I mean, it's, it's considerably off, but not, I don't know. I'm not even going to go there. I was pretty thin. I was pretty little bitty back then. I would say I'm average now. But anyway, let's not talk about that, especially with the holidays coming up. Come on. Um, yes, we're fun size, Nancy Drew. We are fun size. And so is Richard Allen. Hello, Hiawatha. Good to see you. All right, so we have this issue of I think that is gonna be a big issue if they're gonna say he crossed the creek. Um, I'm waiting to see, have y'all seen a decision on whether they're gonna let the Norse paganism aspect come in? I don't know. I expect that Judge Gold is gonna deny, you know. However, it makes me wonder what's gonna happen because it seems like this jury is very invested. They're asking all these questions. So when the defense brings up Logan Holder, depending on what questions they ask him and what he says, if Odinism is brought up, that would lead right into it, right? So I don't know. I look. So let's talk a little bit. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what happened yesterday, and then I'm gonna show you some things I thought interesting on X. Let's talk about the how this all started, right? Dan Doolin, Kathy Shank. I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking, but as the story goes in court, we have Kathy Shank, who is like they're moving from one office to another, something like that. And Kathy comes across this piece of paper that says, it's the tip from Richard Allen. But admittedly, on the tip, it says cleared. So, sorry, I think I've got a coffee ground. Um, my question is this: okay, this doesn't make sense to me. Or like, think about it. Okay, you've got all these papers, you've got all these thousands and thousands of tips. Yeah, you're moving, you see one, you're like, "Huh, who's this?" But it says on the paper cleared, okay? It says cleared. So if you what would flag you about this when you've got tons of people, as we know, who have been tipped in because everybody's looking for that fake picture of a bridge guy, right? And why do you pick this one out and of the cleared pile? That's a sus cake to me. Why that one? There was never any explanation to my knowledge of why that one flagged. We know a lot of people have been cleared. The family's been cleared. Other people that were there, in the search party, whatever, they've been cleared. So you tell me, why did you look at all of the cleared people today, or did you just focus on Richard Allen? Well, clearly you just focused on Richard Allen. Hmm. And the timing of this isn't sus at all, right? No sus cakes to see there. I think that there's more to the story. I'll just say that. I can't say what she was thinking or what happened, but I do believe there had to be more to the story out of all these tips. Do you see what I'm saying? If I am putting stuff in a box and I'm moving stuff around and a paper falls out or I come across something and it says cleared, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, y'all, look, here is a cleared, look, I found a piece of nothing. It's a cleared POI." What? Come on. Think. Use your noodle. Something was up with that. So that's my opinion. Anyway, and we're going to get into some of this stuff. Somebody who laid it out. I can't remember who. Um, yeah. Why did Doolin not? He cleared him. He was cleared early. Why did Doolin not uh follow up on that tip? He did follow up on it. He had a interview with him face to face, and I'm guessing that Dan Doolin, not a fan of his. Okay, remember the whole Jesse Snyder thing? Dan Doolin, not my favorite person. However, he obviously looked at Richard Allen, took the notes, looked at his height, size, and the crime, and he's like, no, it wasn't this guy. And this was early on. This is before they needed a patsy. Um, that is a good question, Samantha Springman. She says, how can the crime scene photos be shown in court, but Odinism, paganism be barred? Well, because, well, I don't think they should. But the sticks, so far as the jury has been told thus far, were just like laid over to cover the bodies. Now, first of all, I'm going to say, if I'm a jury member, I'm going to think one of two things. Either that was the most ridiculous attempt to cover up. I mean, that's just no, no. Or someone was trying to cover up and got interrupted, in which case the killers would have been right there in the area that the bodies were found. I don't think that it's been brought to their attention that there is any symbolism with these sticks because they couldn't introduce that. But I wonder if some of the jury will look at those pictures and say, this is an odd placement. I don't know. If they are able to introduce that, I think all of a sudden the jury's going to go, oh, that does look like that. That's just my opinion, which is, of course, why, the gull, the bird, the, the bird judge. We'll just say that the nice way. That's why she didn't want it in there. Yeah, she doesn't. She wants to exclude that. Of course she does. Um, yeah, who's friends with who? That's a good question. It's a small town. Come on, people know people. I don't know. I had Kathy Shank's name came up before. Now I'm sure we would have a whole lot of interesting sleuthing. Now, whether it turns up anything, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. There's something more to that story that they're not telling us. All right, hello, Keith Kellogg. You're eating breakfast. I wish I was. I'm starving. I am starving. Um, okay, let me go to this. And I don't know why it was so clear yesterday. Whoops, I don't even know what I'm doing now. I have no idea why this is not, um, I don't know if you can see me when I do this. Can you see me? Or do I disappear? It was so clear yesterday and I can't see it. I can't even see it on my screen. But if you will go onto my X, I'm gonna have to get my glasses for this. All right, this is from Magnolia. I find this very funny because now I'm not dissing JLR at all. I think he does good work, and he's everywhere. It's like that's pretty incredible. He's everywhere all the time. Um, Now if you're not familiar with JLR, I did have a problem with him when he was screaming at Richard Allen at the other court dates, but he has stopped that. JLR and Magnolia is like his girlfriend. She's great. Um, I didn't realize this till yesterday, and heard JLR wavering a little bit because for months and mom no years he said, "Oh, guilty, guilty." Apparently, Magnolia does not believe that Richard Allen is guilty, and I would say she is a woman who thinks. And this is what she put out on. I'm gonna have to change this. I am so sorry, y'all, that this is so bad. I cannot see it. Um, but she said yesterday on X, turns out the video and audio of Bridge Guy that was released to the public years ago is fake. The entire thing was enhanced, interpolated. I kind of feel interpolated myself this morning, like you're only getting part of me. In the original video shown for the first time in court yesterday, Bridge Guy can't be seen or heard because he's so far away, which means the girls may not have seen him, and even if they did, it's highly unlikely that they would have heard him say down the hill or anything else. The state's own witnesses who helped create the sketches cannot ID Richard Allen, which is very concerning since the affidavit for the search warrant on his home was based entirely on those very same witnesses. Yeah, the PCA, right? The PCA says Betsy Blair saw him, Sarah Carbaugh saw him. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I'm shocked. This was the crux of the Franks motion last year filed, but most missed this because the Odinism claim stole the show. Yeah, I did always say that there was a lot of good stuff in that Franks motion that had nothing to do with Odinism. The state has so far failed to prove RA as BG. I agree, Magnolia. Further, they have failed to connect BG to the actual crime scene. Again, yeah. It seems they are now clinging to the confessions, but we already know that RA's prison psychiatrist will testify he was deteriorating. Yeah, yeah. Um, eh, I like this because this is my feeling. The last line, as of now, it seems like an insurmountable challenge for the state to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Richard Allen did unalive Libby and Abby. I agree. I totally agree because there's nothing definitive. If you don't have DNA, you've got some crap confession that's going to be pulled apart. You've got a bullet that, if that were the murder weapon, I'd say they'd have a much stronger case. But it's not. Come on. And let's talk about this. Did you hear this? Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. It might have been the day before when they were talking about the medical examiner was talking about the wounds. So there was a smooth knife and then a serrated knife. And then he says, and of course, this is after Richard Allen was arrested. Now he's saying, oh, it could have been a box cutter. What? No, you are not going to. He's like, the edge could have, but he did say he could not say for sure. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, that hard edge of a box cutter. No. I mean, literally, what are you trying to tell us? Like, especially women on the jury or anybody who cooks. When I'm sorry, but like when you are cutting up a, piece of meat, like a chicken or something like that, there's a big difference on how that comes out with a uh a serrated or a smooth blade. Also, box cutter. It's not gonna make those come on. That was like the state shot in the dark, and I just wanna know what perks are you getting for saying that? But in the end, he said no, he could not say it was a box cutter. That was just, in my opinion, throwing something, throwing the cards up in the air so the jury, maybe hopefully even just a few jury members will think, "Oh, Richard Allen took a box cutter from work and did this." Whatever. I mean, come on, that was so ridiculous to me. I'm like, usually we hear in a trial something specific, like it was a 7-inch blade serrated, or there were two different weapons used, and it was this and it was that. Not, oh well, it could have been a box cutter. I've used a box cutter. It doesn't cut the same way. Not on people. Like, don't get me confused, but on boxes. um. All right. Yes, also, Samantha, how did Elvis Fields know about the sticks when nobody but Ellie knew? Yeah. But see, these are things that the jury's not going to get to see. Um, oh, yeah, that very good Hiawatha. I did see that too. Why would a state trooper being questioned by the defense and about blood splatter say it is not like we use a ruler and compass to measure it? Did you all get that reference? Y'all know I've said it a gazillion times on here. The Freemasons, what is that? What is that they use? Oh, ruler and compass, their symbol, right? Sorry, I'm trying not to slurp. I wondered if it was just because he was, used to those things in Freemasonry, or was that a verbal cue to somebody saying, "Hey, I'm trying here." I don't know. Um Yeah, no stomach contents. When we talked about that yesterday, I'm very confused. Uh, Let me see here. Good morning, USA Libertarian. Of all the possible knives, we are to believe he just randomly thought up a box cutter. Yeah, not because Nick told him to after hearing the confession. Right. The confessions and the stuff, he used a box cutter. If y'all didn't know, that's one of the crazy confessions. He used a box cutter. Look, box cutters are great for boxes and maybe a few other things, but not for that. Okay. Not for that kind of damage. And come on. Come on. Yeah. Uh, the law enforcement waited 3 years to search the pharmacy dumpster for a box cutter. Really? I mean, who doesn't? Look, anybody who gets products in, who doesn't have a box cutter? Um, Lana. Stevie Wonder called to say even he could see through the box cutter statements. Yeah. Y'all are on it this morning. Y'all are on it. I honestly enjoy so much this morning chat. I I wish I had more times in the morning. I will next week. I'll have more time to chat. Um, yeah, lack of experience for the corner. Let's see. Um, we Carol, I know you have brought up the pig roast several times, and do I think that some of the players were involved? Probably, most likely. I don't know if we'll ever know the full truth. All right, let me go back to saying. Let me go through here. Uh, Let's see. Again, I have no idea why this is so fuzzy, but I do want to throw this up here. Sorry. Like I said, go to my X, you'll see it. Um, R&M quoted from why can't I say this? Oh my god. I was Rufus Woof right. I was saying Woofus. What I can't, y'all. I have only had one cup of coffee and part of a second. Rufus, I am so sorry. Woof right. So the girls aren't saying gun in the video, and as sworn by Liggett in the PCA for Richard Allen's arrest, and the sole basis for connecting the unspent 40 caliber uh, rounds found at the crime scene, as opposed to just being a random bullet unrelated to the crime. Yeah, so and it's here on the bottom you see the highlighted part, which we all probably have a copy of the PCA. I know I do. Um, yeah, that's how they connected it. So he said, so on the audio video, you don't hear gun. Although we're gonna look at something else, and I'm gonna see if let me see. Um, there is a part, and maybe it's here, or maybe it's I don't know, where Liggett is saying something um about that. Oh, thank you, Hiawatha. This is my Saturday, my Friday. I don't care hair. Hello, 7 stars. Why couldn't another bleh. Why couldn't another suspect take a box cutter from his work? Yeah, yeah. Maybe somebody who hadn't been cleared. What about that? Um, let's see. What about a Marlin spike knife? Like it looked like it has a C. I there's mm, mm. I mm. There's stuff I'm not gonna say, okay? But I highly suspect that there was a tool used that was very unique. Let me just put it that way. Um, you could be right. Um, yeah, Keith Kellogg is saying he's curious to see if the girls had paint in their pores since Becky said they were painting that weekend. I don't know, and honestly, it sounds like from the medical examiner, he took swabs of some things. I don't think anybody was looking that other than surface. Does that make sense? There are so many questions that we have all these years later, like, to prove, but at the time, I don't think people were really I don't think it was a big thing. Um, yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, the pork why can't I talk this morning, y'all? Pork processing plant. Woofus Woolwhite. See? Um, has lots of knives. You know what's funny about that? When Sarah Carbaugh was testifying that it looked like a pig had been slaughtered, and then she's like, I don't even know what that would look like. Ah, very bad impression, I know. But it made me wonder, why did you say that, Sarah? Why did you say a pig slaughter? Maybe because there is a processing plant right there. Maybe she's familiar, but I don't know. 7 stars. Weapon could depend on the reason they were killed. Absolutely. Yeah. And if it was shown to be, let's just say this, okay? I think there are a lot of factors. Do I think it was pure out Odinism? No. I don't think that was if they were involved. I don't know if they were. But if they were involved, I don't think it was simply that. Y'all know. I think it was a whole stew, a whole big sus cake. Um, but if those wounds on their neck came from a ritual knife, That would say a whole lot too. Again, we don't have any good identification. Well, there was this cut and there was that cut. I don't I've just seen other cases where they have a much better identification of weapon. You know what I'm saying? A straight blade, serrated blade, yeah, most knives have one or the other. Um, but it doesn't seem like, at least from what I heard. Now, maybe we'll get into it more or maybe not. I have more questions about the weapon as well because you're right, it could absolutely give us more of a clue on the motive. Um, let's see here. All right, let's go to, I've had this up here, what Yellow Jacket is saying. I don't even know if I can see this anymore. Gosh, what is wrong with my streaming service today? It's terrible. All right, so I'm going to read this to you. Uh if this is the state's case in chief, we are in for something ungodly when defense gets their turn. I agree. Rick was cleared, and his own tip was the only one that existed for him out of 50,000 plus. Yeah. Um, it says, number one, per my last email, he never said he saw those three teenage girls, the ones that said they saw a guy. Remember, he said that those three teenage girls were actually a group of four. The three females Rick saw, he described to law enforcement as one was older, like she was babysitting the other two. Well, you're not gonna, if that's what he felt like there would have to be a big difference, in ages. Like a 16-year-old is not gonna be babysitting a 14, 15-year-old. I mean, come on. Like, so yeah, I would love to know more of, and Rick Allen might not even remember. I know I wouldn't remember that much after all these years, but um testimony from our witness teenagers would make Rick a 5'10" muscular guy in his 20s with curly blonde hair coming out of his black hoodie. Yeah. So, number two, Rick told law enforcement there around 12 to 1 he was there around 12 to 1:30. Curiously, doesn't seem like Ellie bothered to find potential witnesses to corroborate seeing him or his car at that time. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about the car because that was a big thing. Remember Holman? Oh my God, don't get me started on Holman. Just don't. Ugh. All right, he told Ellie he took the route there, the only logical route in the first place, without having knowledge the Hoosier Harvest Store CCTV existed, and that route made it impossible that he passed the Harvest Store. Okay. Now, this was the thing. Remember when I've listened to several people. Mullen admitted the Harvest Store CCTV video was never recovered until 2022. Really? You waited all those years to recover a video when you know a crime was committed, like really right there, just down the street a little bit? You never recovered that video? Law enforcement never, no, law, really? I can't. I can't with the incompetence. Any bit of video, like, would have, well, maybe they didn't want to, because why wouldn't Rick Allen be on 300 North? Look, there's so much with this, and then how do you even know? Why do you come up with video looking for a suspect that's been cleared after all these years? If you really wanted to know, wouldn't you have done it in 2017? Wouldn't you have subpoenaed all that and said, hey, look, we're taking all of this evidence. We want to see what cars passed by. Like, this is insanity. Pure incompetence. All right. They knew it existed in 2017, but they apparently didn't want it. He knows. Mullen knows. It's Rick driving by at 1:27 p.m. because it's a black hatchback style car with sport rims. Yeah. Ooh, that's one of a kind. You can't miss that one. Uh, you cannot make out a driver, license plate, or even be positive of the make and model. That was the big thing yesterday, as they kept trying to get Rick Allen to say, well, he could have went through the country because apparently the route that they say he took, that he says he tooks took didn't pass um that view going west or something. He had to be going west to be that car. And even on the stand, they couldn't definitively say this is a Ford. What was it? A Ford Focus. A Ford Focus. Do you know how many black Ford Focus there were in 2017? Like that is a popular car because it's small, it's good on gas, you know. Um Look, they're pretty standard. And according to Andrea Burkhart, she said the wheels looked like you they could have been factory, but like when you get the upgrade, I know my car had just came with certain upgrades. And that could have been one of them, but they weren't special. They weren't fancy. Okay? Not fancy wheels. Um just one of those things. And so I thought this is crazy, but yet you can sit there and definitely say this is Richard Allen's black Ford Focus, even though there is no license plate and you can't see the driver. Wow, that's definitely Richard Allen because nobody else in Indiana or the surrounding states has a black Ford Focus. Wow, good work. That's some great policing right there. Jeez almighty. Again, y'all people who are out here in Facebook groups and everything saying, man, the state brought it today. Like, what? They said, hey, there's a billion cars out there that look just like Richard Allen's. Oh, but this was his. For sure. Come on. It's ludicrous. Do y'all not see that? It's ludicrous. Um, All right. Yeah, talking about people. Yes, Samantha. I'm just gonna throw this up here. Um, I am going to let y'all read that because there are other suspects at the pork production plant. Strangely enough, one of them looked like one of the sketches. Quite a bit, don't you think? I'm not saying he did it. I'm saying he is a much better suspect than Richard Allen. So why? Why, when you had such a good suspect who spent time with Ron Logan right there where the bodies were found, why wouldn't you at least investigate that? If you're going to bring somebody on trial, I mean, and now he's in jail, okay, for another murder, but you don't want to bring him into it. Are you afraid of what, if he was involved? Again, not saying he's guilty, but if Garrett Kurtz was involved, are you afraid of what else he's going to say that may not look so good on other people in Carroll County? I'm just saying, we've talked about, like, and these are the kind of things, y'all, that I feel like the jury needs to know that there are other very good suspects. And this flimsy crap you've got on Richard Allen is nonsense comparatively to what you have on other people. Come on. Uh, good morning, Sherry Faye. Good to see you. Yeah, so what do y'all think about that testimony about the car? Hello, I just want to make sure I say hello to everybody. Blessings galore. Hello. Uh, yeah, I agree 100%. I don't believe it was ever supposed to go to trial. Definitely protecting somebody or a bunch of somebodies or a whole circle of somebodies. You have an underground economy in Carroll County, okay? I'm just going to leave it there. you have people doing things to make money who know about other people doing things to make money. See where I'm going with that? Um, and let's see here. I like that, Lana. The state brought it and the defense gave it back. Absolutely. Hello, Adjusted Fate. Um, Good morning. We've known that for years that the camera was motion activated. Yeah, well, I just want to know why at the end. Yeah, also we're talking about BH staying at Ron Logan's. Look, there's so much stuff. Um Good morning. I love that name. Electric Werecat, Truther Network. If I were gonna be an animal, I would want to be an electric werecat. That sounds great. Sounds like so much fun. Good morning, Jojo. Samantha Springman, that would explain the FBI director being briefed twice within the first 10 days of the investigation of terrorist training. Let's see. Patrick Westphal also said in an interview he was on a terrorist watch list. Nothing to see here, boys. It's crazy. Um, yeah. In a real case, showing a black car drive by would never be enough. With Gold's Court, who knows? Yeah, yeah. Hello, Pam Frenchman. Good to see ya. Like I said, I promise it's gonna be later. Uh, Hello, Andre. Good to see you too. Um, uh, okay. Since it is in short clips, you can't even continuously see Kelsey's car and the black car to prove it happened the same day. I'm saying this. You're taking a generic car. This car is super generic. A lot of people, a Ford Focus was very popular. Um, the Ford Fusion was a pretty popular car. Um, I've had a Fusion and I've had a Fiesta. I've never had a Focus. But like, look, they were easy to get, okay? Easy to finance, that kind of stuff. And they're pretty reliable. My Fiesta was very reliable. Focus was also for a Ford, I think, was pretty reliable also. So you have to understand this car is so generic. To tell somebody for to get on the witness stand and say that this car is definitively Rick Allen's, you are going to have to say that nobody else in how many mile radius has a black Focus. My, that one really stands out. It's insanity. Absolutely insanity. Um, Garth was friends with the Patties, the whole family. Look, there, Garth. Oh, okay. Yeah, look, there are so many lines that people cross over here. It's hard. It's hard. All right, let me go back. How much time do I have? Oh my goodness, not very much time. All right, let me go back to this. Yeah, okay. So the black car to me was it was just an insanity. All right, so let's go to the rest of this that I can't see and is out of focus. Maybe it's not out of focus for y'all, but it sure is for me. Um, okay, Rick, I gotta get my glasses out again. It's so bad. Rick never admitted to wearing the exact BG outfit. He said a blue or black Carhartt jacket, jeans, boots, uh, and a skull cap. Hey, y'all, that's the thing that got me. He said he wore a skull cap, you know? So that is completely different than Bridge Guy, right? unless they have altered that picture. Oh, but they wouldn't have. But it's been interpolated. That is, look, interpolation. I get it. It does its best. But let me just say this. I have used AI for certain especially for a video that I did like back in, I don't know, months ago. And in this AI, I needed video or pictures. I know this is crazy, but I needed pictures of monkeys wearing lab coats, pushing buttons on a microwave. Okay. So if you remember that video I did like months and months ago, I used the pictures that I used for that were AI generated because where are you going to get a picture like that? So what I noticed though when AI, sorry, it is Friday. What I noticed is that the AI would do weird things. Okay, you say you want a picture of something, and it should be straightforward, but yet it will do things like give a person six fingers or only four fingers or three hands. Like, have y'all ever seen that when I don't know. I don't know why AI does that, but it's insanity sometimes. So when you're talking about a computer filling in, it does its best, okay? Maybe someday, but I don't think that you can properly interpolate from that far away. Like, look, it is what it is. So, this bridge guy we're looking for, he looks like nobody because we don't even know what he looks like because it's AI generated, interpolated. It's a mixture, okay? Unlike my monkey pictures that were completely fabricated, this is not fabricated all the way, but it's filled in. Fill in the pieces, you know? Come on. If you're going to interpolate me, please. There are some features I would love to change about myself. Like, come on. Let's interpolate a little better. Again, this is I don't understand. I really cannot see myself as a juror being able to say beyond a reasonable doubt anything when I know it has been interpolated. And that is a great word to throw into a conversation now that I know it. I'm just saying, you can, act smart now. Well, that looks interpolated to me, and everybody around you is going to be like, huh? Delphi is good for something. All right. He called Ellie on 216 after BG Image released because Ellie asked people to let them know if they were in the area. Of course, he did it. I love this. Career liar and veteran. Hold back. Tell us what you really think. I agree 100%. Career liar and veteran hater Dan Doolin interviewed 18 at a grocery store as Rick was already on the way there to buy groceries. He wasn't asked what he wore. Doolin claims he said he was there between 1:30 and 3:30 because that's what he typed in a Word document. Okay, you also had his last name as Whiteman. Could there have been a discrepancy in what you heard and what you put in the report? I'm going to say if you thought his name was Richard Allen Whiteman because Whiteman was the name of his address, could you have messed this up, Danny boy? Chances are really good. Really good. Whatever. But he threw out the handwritten notes. Well, wasn't that convenient? You couldn't go back and check. Kathy Shank tells the lies of a child regarding her miraculous attention to detail that discovered this long forgotten and cleared tip from Rick himself. Jury asked Doolin why he never brought Rick up to Ellie again. Doolin said he has not thought of Alan between 2017 and 2022 until there was an election to be won, right? Then he comes up. Oh, wow. Wow. All right. I am oh my gosh. What did I do? I have lost y'all. Oh, there you are. There you are. All right. Um, Andre, the notes I'm reading are from things that I reposted from X, and I know it's hard to see. That particular one, if you go on Silky Southern Tea on X, you can get to all of these people that I reposted and you can read all of their work. I'm not saying just read mine because I am just reposting. I put in a comment every now and again, but not very much. It is all what I want to remember. That was by Yellow Jacket, and she was killing it the last few days on some of this stuff. I love I love it. Um, yeah, Lana, very good point. Uh, that is something that has never made sense to me. They can't make out the face from the video, but they could make out the make and the model of the gun. I'll get it right. Yeah, of course, because they can make out whatever they want for this trial. And you know what Goal is going to say? That's good work, boys. Yeah, yeah, sustained, sustained. And then the, the defense is like, denied, overruled. All right. Anyway, I think we're going to see a lot of stuff. I can't wait really for the defense to start their stuff. Um, I think my biggest laugh of the day yesterday was definitely all of the people in these little Facebook groups and all of the people on YouTube that are like, man, the prosecution is bringing it. It's fire. You know, Richard Allen is toast. Oh, I saw that a whole lot yesterday. He's toast. He's toast. I guess you eat your toast uncooked, right? It's the dough. Buddy, you're looking at the dough in the bowl. It's not even baked yet. That's my opinion. And I can have my opinion. So can you. I appreciate you so much being out here. I'm looking at your okay. Hmm. All right, I appreciate y'all all being here. I probably will do this tomorrow. I'm definitely going to do it through the week. If I'm not on here tomorrow, and starting next week, I'm probably going to go at about 9:30 or 10, a little bit later, because I don't have to go to work and we can spend more time laughing at the lunacy of the Delphi Circus trial. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to get my Friday work week over. I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you live sometime soon. Have a great one, whatever you do. Y'all, stay silky, right? Bye bye.